Hello and welcome to Share Talk. I'm Bonnie Hughes. Our very interesting guest today is Metalnrg, which trades on the NEX exchange. We're joined today by the CEO, Rolf Gerritsen. He's going to tell us a bit about the company, which is a natural resource investment vehicle, and he's going to talk about some of the projects and what they're up to. Thank you, Rolf, for joining us today.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you very much.
Now, I understand that you basically invest directly in natural resource companies.
We have two divisions. The first division is a direct investment division, which invests in at the moment we have a Palomino project, which is a cobalt project in Australia. That is very early stage, which we seek to develop. We're looking for a cornerstone asset that we can invest in, which will allow us to move on to the main market as opposed to being on NEX. And the indirect division is where we invest in privately owned companies that we then facilitate and help coordinate an IPO process for.
Now, you just recently joined the company as CEO.
That's right.
Do you want to tell us a bit about how you became CEO and your background?
My background is mostly consulting, and in the last 10 years I've been raising capital for junior mining companies. I got involved with Metalnrg when they were looking at doing an acquisition, and I got involved with them as a project manager, coordinating that process and helping take that deal through the process. And Paul Johnson at the time was CEO of the company, and he said, well, why don't you come and do this full time? So here I am.
And so you currently have some investments in the early stage cobalt, which cobalt has been a very great commodity performer, so you're in a very good space. Do you have some other things in the pipeline that you can talk to us about?
That I can talk about, not specifically, but there are a number of opportunities in the pipeline, both on the direct and in the indirect division. In terms of the direct, we're looking at, as I said before, a cornerstone project, which is a large project. I can't say much more about it because it's very early stage, so watch the space. On the indirect side, we're in the process or in the conversations with 4-5 companies that are looking at an IPO process, and we are very close to bringing Cobra Resources, a privately owned company, onto the main market as a investment shell.
Excellent. And does Cobra Resources have any investments at the moment, or?
Cobra Resources will be listed as an investment shell, and they will be looking at doing a deal probably within the next 2 to 3 months.
And I guess with management directors' backgrounds, you get projects brought to you quite frequently, and that's how you get exposure to getting access to investing in these projects.
That's right. We have quite a large network through our board, which is quite an impressive team in that they've been in this space and worked in this space for about 30 years and have substantial amounts of contacts and, more importantly, also experience, both on the financial and the geological side. And as a result of that network, we do receive quite a few contacts on and proposals of deals to be evaluated and looked at. So we look at those and filter them through, and then those that we're interested in we'll take further and develop a further understanding of and see if we can do something with it.
And is there any other specific commodities that you're looking at besides cobalt?
Yeah, we're quite interested in lithium. We're also interested in manganese. We're also looking at gold. And personally, I also like copper quite a bit.
Yes, I'm a big copper fan too. It's one of those metals that have been around for a long time and still in a lot of use. And is there any jurisdictions that you won't invest in, or do you have preferable jurisdictions that your fund will invest in?
In terms of preferable jurisdictions, we're looking at Australia, we're looking at Africa to a degree, carefully, and we are also looking at South America. So those are really the key areas that we tend to look at.
And you just recently had a project in Nevada. I understand that you've done some kind of sort of sale on that. Do you want to talk about that to us as well?
We were approached by Cobra Resources, an ASX listed company, which was they were quite keen on acquiring the US cobalt projects. And our belief was that they were in a better position to progress that project, and therefore we agreed to vending into Tirana for shares. So we've agreed a deal whereby we get paid shares at, they vest at 1.7. Currently they are trading at around 2.5 last time I looked. So we're looking at a profitable contribution from the Tirana shareholding.
Excellent. And I understand your strategy is to potentially pay a dividend in 3 to 5 years.
That's right. My objective is to be in a position to pay dividends within 3 to 5 years. And what we're doing today is really setting or putting the building blocks in place that will allow us to do that. And
that's excellent. And so what about funding? How is your funding situation?
Funding, we're okay. As I said, we're more than okay at the moment. We're not going to go to the market at this particular stage. And what we're also able to do through the indirect investment division is what I refer to as a strategy of 1 × 2 = 3. Because we're investing in privately owned companies, and when we take them to IPO, that's typically done at a 50 to 100% premium. So we are able to generate cash flow from that.
That's a very good strategy. I've seen that work for many times before. And so why now did you decide that this was the time to start this kind of company?
Over the last 12 months, there have been a number of projects that we have come to us with an interest of accessing markets and funds. And I think personally it's at that stage where there has been a bit of a starvation for some of these projects in terms of funding, and I think the tide is turning slowly, but I think it is turning, and now is the time to get in so that we can see the uptick and in hopefully the next 12 to 24 months, I would say.
Yes, it's been difficult for the mining industry to access capital when you're at an exploration phase.
Exactly.
But certainly exploration fuels bigger and better companies that generate cash flow. So the exploration has to be done. And will you be having some news flow over the next few months that the investors can hear about?
I would expect so, yes.
Excellent. Well, it was very nice for you to come in and talk to us today. We look forward to hearing more about your company and the future investments that you make and your dividends in 3 years. Thank you everyone for joining us on Share Talk. Please join us again. Have a very profitable day.